Travis Anderson, my counterpart. We are customer success managers here at Microsoft, and our role and focus is to help our customers leverage the power of Teams. And one way that we do that is with working with our third-party app partners in support of how customers can leverage applications within this single pane of glass called Teams. And we're excited to welcome the team from Atlassian, specifically to talk through Confluence Cloud and some other capabilities that hopefully many of you are utilizing currently internally within your organizations. And if you're not, hopefully you get some information that's going to be helpful for you as you consider going forward. But ultimately, how are we going to take this wonderful application and capability and allow our end users to leverage it inside of Teams so that they're not moving back and forth from different applications and are streamlining their communications and effectiveness. So we're going to go ahead and dive in here today. But before we do, there's a few housekeeping items that I wanted to address with everybody. As I mentioned, the session is being recorded, so if you have concerns there, it will be made available afterwards. So if you need to drop off, certainly understand that. But the recording is going to be made available at the link you'll see here on the slide. We do ask that you mute your phones, just out of respect to the presenters, but feel free to raise your hand with the Teams raise hand feature, or ultimately come off mute and interrupt us if you need to ask a question. We do have moderators that will be monitoring the chat for questions, so certainly leverage that as a platform as well. Another ask is that at the end of this, we'll be sending, excuse me, a survey out to everybody. And this is important for a couple of reasons. One, it allows you to ask for help and assistance. Both Travis and myself and or our peers and the Atlassian team here will be responding to those that would like some assistance in deploying this technology and or learning more about the capabilities. But it's also helpful for Travis and I, who host this Snack and Learn series, to gain some feedback on what's most important to you. We will be rolling this out and doing more of these sessions in 2022, and we'd love your feedback on which partners are most applicable to you and your organizations. And there's also the benefit of potentially winning a prize. So appreciate that, and thank you for that in advance. So as I mentioned, as we work with our customers, we've heard multiple times that we're looking for a single solution to help streamline our efforts and activities as we go about our days. And for us, we call these collaborative apps. There's over 800 different collaborative apps that have been made available, out on our app store within Teams, and more are coming online every day. But this is going to help you enable your hybrid environments, automate those processes or customize your processes, and really improve connections on all different platforms, from the desktop to a mobile device to laptops and other ways that you're going to connect with end users. This is just a view, and as I mentioned, there's 800 plus third-party apps coming online, are available today, and then more coming online every day. And we welcome you to go out to the Teams store within your Teams application and explore some of these others as you go forward with this journey. But without further ado, I want to make sure we introduce our great friends from the Atlassian team here to take us through their applications and a learning effort for you today. Laura, I'll pass it off to you if you want to take control. You're on mute, Laura. All right.
All right. A wonderful start here. Thank you, Doug, and just thank you everyone else again for the time. I know we all have a lot going on these days. So I wanted to start off with a quick poll, which they'll launch in the chat. Would love to just get a better understanding of how familiar everyone is with Confluence. So if you could just share with me if it's something you've never heard of, something you've heard of but maybe not used, or something that you currently use. So please just take a moment and help us understand where you're at. All right, beautiful. All right, it looks like we have a lot of people who are currently using Confluence. Wonderful. So I won't spend too much time going into the what is Confluence portion, but I do just want to give those who are less familiar a little bit of an overview. So at Atlassian, how we like to talk about Confluence is the place where knowledge and collaboration meet. And we really think about it as a remote-friendly teamwork space that helps your team build, organize, and collaborate on work from wherever you are and whatever kind of device you're on. And just to recap, what do we use it for? Those are great high and lofty terms, but what are the typical use cases that we see? So at Atlassian, we really see teams of all shapes and sizes using Confluence to really break down team silos as the primary kind of problem space that Confluence solves for, as well as turning conversations into action and really building a culture of openness and teamwork and dialogue, and just really leaning into the collaboration part of project work. Knowing all of that, the most common use cases we see are project collaboration, knowledge management and documentation, as well as really a social intranet. And then to recap, who is best suited to use Confluence? As you can see from the variety of roles listed here, it's a really flexible tool and can really actually does its best when it's used across many different teams, because it is meant to be that central place of documentation, collaboration, and a place to share and comment together. So as you can see, teams ranging from engineering to marketing to HR really rely on Confluence to power their work. Just to give you a sense of again, who is using this, we have more than 75,000 customers, and we're honored to have brands like HubSpot, Blend, and Audi finding a lot of value and rolling out our products across teams and across departments. So now to talk about the Teams app that we've built. We are excited to share that this summer Tiger, who will speak shortly, and her team completely rebuilt our Teams Confluence app in order to make your workflows better. So in order to kind of share how we built this, I wanted to bring you into the headspace that we were in as we built this. So I want you to kind of think to yourself, have you ever thought of yourself in these situations? And these are situations we heard a lot from customers, which is you're frequently attending meetings just to sort of stay in the loop. You might be frustrated that meetings have a great discussion, but no follow-up or accountability. And you might spend a lot of time, or your colleagues spend a lot of time searching around for information. And then maybe once you find that information, it's an old version, or you're working on a different version than your colleague. Those are problems that we really frequently hear that we really wanted to build this app to solve for. So you'll notice as Tiger walks through the app here in just a moment that teams using the Confluence for Teams app really have an automated workflow of documentation to action items. That means teams automatically receive meeting notes in the Teams chat. That action items are shared and decisions are captured automatically within Confluence pages. You can access information instantly by searching Confluence from the Teams chat. And you can have collaborative live editing during a meeting in the side panel. And that extends to Confluence's live editor that is universally accessible. So you're always using the latest version. So I'm going to hand it over to Tiger now just to talk through some of the features and give us a live demo.
Thanks, Laura. Hi, everyone. I'm Tiger. I am the product manager for this integration. So I just want to start by saying this app is completely free for you. You can use it with any version of Confluence Cloud and Microsoft Teams. You can even spin up a free test instance license to explore the integration for yourself. So give it a try if you've never explored it. Just try it out. The biggest new feature added to the integration is the in-meeting Confluence editor panel. So this allows you to capture notes all together in your meeting without having to go into another window. To use this feature, you'll add the app to a meeting and then click the Confluence icon to open the notes window. You'll take notes as a group using Confluence shortcuts like app mentions, decisions, action items, and a lot more. After the meeting ends, though, the Confluence app takes care of the follow-up, ensuring that meeting attendees are tagged, action items are aggregated, and that meeting notes are automatically organized. And the app even sends a message to the Teams chat sharing a Confluence link to the notes, so it's always easy to find in Teams. So now it's demo time. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Assuming everyone can see this, yes? Excellent.
Yep.
Cool. So here I'm in my Teams instance. This is the desktop client. I'm going to navigate over to the apps menu to find the Confluence app. So this is going to pop up. If you can't find this in your app store, you're going to need to reach out to your administrator to get permissions. But if you can, you're just going to go ahead and add this. At the top, you'll see add to a team. As Laura was stating, Confluence is a very collaborative app and product. So we encourage you to add this to a team first so that everyone in your organization can collaborate together. So you'll pick a team. You're going to set this up. And voila. So the first thing, just to get this started, you're going to hit configure. This will take you through the sign-in process. You will log into your Atlassian accounts, and then you'll be able to connect your cloud instance in here. So I've already signed in. I'm going to go ahead and get my Confluence site. And now I'm linked up. So in here, just a second. Oop, there we go. Sorry, I couldn't see the bottom. So you'll see this little Confluence icon right here. This is the message extension. So now I have all of the pages that are in that cloud site accessible to me. So if I want to share one of these pages with this team channel, I can go ahead and do that. And now I have a link preview. So I can get a lot of context just from this card. I can see exactly which page this is, who was created it, when it was created. If I click on view, this pops up to give me a little bit more information. So any information that's on the Confluence page will pop up here. From here, you can watch it, you can favorite it, you can write a comment on here, and then close this out. So we want to keep this in here in your team channel where y'all can have conversations and keep the workflow moving. Another great feature is the ability to pin a page, aka add a tab. So if I want to search for a page in here, I want everyone in this team to have a how-to article to reference. And now it's pinned to the top of this channel. I can also alert the group that I've done this. There you go. Another great option up here. So there's link previews. I showed you how you can search from the message extension for pages. And then we added the tab at the top. There's a couple more features though that you can get, but they're specifically in different scopes. So you have the personal scope and then the meeting scope. I'm going to walk you through the personal one where you can get your notifications in here. So this tells you exactly how to add it. When you do add it to a team channel, that is one scope, and you kind of manually need to add it to the other ones to unlock all the feature sets. So as you can see, I'm going to go back to that app window, and then I'm going to add for me. So I'm going to say get started. This takes me exactly where I need to be. I've already added it before, spoiler, and it takes me over here. This is a personal Cloud Confluence chat to myself. So from here, I can sign in. Confluence is going to let me know I'm already signed in. It's telling me exactly the Confluence Cloud that I'm associated with. Next thing I want to do is set up notifications. So this is a great feature. If you're already familiar with Confluence, you get all your notifications via email. Now you can get all of them directly into your Teams channel, and it'll come directly to you in this personal scope. So these are kind of your options. They're direct and watching options. So if someone mentions you, anything to do with any of the pages that you own, comments that you have, replies to comments, you can choose to get those notifications here. If you're looking at spaces or pages or certain pages that were created, and you're watching those in the parent product, you'll get those updates here as well. And then lastly, we're going to add this to a meeting. So I'm going to add to meeting. I have a webinar status meeting that I would like to add Confluence to. So I'm going to go over here. I'm going to save this. And now I can take notes when I join the meeting, and after I can publish these at any time to my Confluence site. So that's a quick overview of all of the major functions. Oop. Oh, there we go. Hold on. Sorry about that.
Tiger. And while you're navigating back, I'll just add that Tiger and the team are doing a ton of customer interviews and really at the start of the journey of building more functionality into this app. So this is not this is certainly just the beginning of that journey, and you can look for more functionality that'll be added in the coming months.
Sorry, trying to navigate back to the the other slide.
Tiger, if I can ask you a question, and sorry, Laura, if I'm going to interrupt you here, but you had mentioned something that's very important, and folks, this is Doug. If you're not seeing the Confluence app in your team's app store, you're not alone. A lot of organizations are locking down visibility or the ability to add applications. If it is critical to your business, certainly reach out to your IT team and find out what are the rules and processes for getting that app approved. Good call out, Tiger, earlier. So.
And now I'll just take a brief moment just to recap the Atlassian and Teams applications. So today we did a deeper dive into Confluence Cloud for Teams, but Atlassian has many products and several integrations with Microsoft Teams. Tiger, do you want to take a quick moment to talk about the new Jira app?
Yeah, so the other app that I'm responsible for is the Jira Cloud for Microsoft Teams. We also have rebuilt this from the previous version, and we just launched it about a month ago. This works, we built it specifically for Jira software, but it does work with Jira Work Management and Jira Service Management to a certain extent. So it brings all of your Jira workflows and issues into your Microsoft Teams app as well. I don't want to go into too much. I'm sure we'll have another webinar for that app as well at some point. So yeah, just try it out.
Keep a little mystery out there, Tiger. We're gonna we'll have you back. No, that's okay.
Yeah, and we will likely be doing another one of these webinars featuring the new Jira app in the new year. So be on the lookout for that. And just like the Confluence Cloud app, the Jira Cloud app is completely free, and you can use it with any version of Jira, including the free version. So encourage you, if you'd like to play with it, go give it a test drive. And we're always looking for feedback. Absolutely. Just to round out our list here, we also have Help for Microsoft Teams, which is a lightweight help desk that helps you translate tickets and allow teammates to ask and resolve their issues in Teams, but also have it tracked in a separate location. And then lastly, we have our Trello integration, which helps you organize projects in a fun, flexible, and visual way. Those are some of the top integrations we have with Microsoft Teams. And another call that I want to make, the Help team recently came out with a really wonderful guide that I wanted to share with you all today about how to get your team to fall in love with Teams. And sometimes people need a little encouragement. And this guide really seeks to share some tried and true tips and strategies to help with that deployment and change management process. So we'll drop a link in the chat, and please feel free to have a look. I'll pass it back to Doug to wrap us up.
Sure, and I'll pass it to Travis here in a moment. But Travis, before we do our what's next, do we want to address a few of the questions that are in the chat? Looks like we had some great activity, and there's been some responses up to this point. But I'll ask the Atlassian team just to kind of peruse those questions real quick.
A couple of questions came up around Jira Server and any integrations there. If we can spend a moment talking about that.
Yeah, Great question. Tiger, do you want to take that one?
Yeah, so we don't have a Confluence server app, unfortunately. We have kind of phased out server products at Atlassian. The Jira app does have a server version. It is kind of very bare bones. We're just maintaining it. You are free to download that, add on to it with whatever API calls you need to. I can also send the team links to send out to everyone that's in this webinar regarding that.
And one thing I'll say as well is it's worth checking. We have some third parties that sometimes build really great connectors between our products. So worth checking the broader marketplace as well to see if there's a Confluence server app out there that might be built by a third party. Yeah, really good questions.
I think other than that, Tony is crushing it in the chat here, looks like. So
wonderful. There was one that might be good to answer around page restrictions when you pin a page to a team chat.
Yeah, it looks like Tony hit that one up too.
Oh, beautiful.
Okay.
He's on it.
Tony's all over it.
Tony's our engineering manager, by the way, just heads up.
Thanks.
He's our technical
yeah,
consult.
bring it.
Well,
Stop the jump.
Yeah.
Hey, so I'll hit this slide as maybe folks are thinking of other questions to kind of think about, and feel free to use the raise hand feature, and we'll call on you, and you can ask your questions. Come off mute if you'd like. But yeah, really, I'll throw the link in the chat as well. But all of the hyperlinks that you're seeing on the screen on this slide, they're all clickable. We would love to get your feedback, and it's kind of like a raise your hand emotion too for this Plat Snack survey link. If you want to get in touch with the Atlassian team to learn more about the Confluence Cloud app or other Atlassian apps, the team is armed and ready to help you. If you're looking for more help around kind of Teams adoption or getting the app deployed, we can certainly bring the right resource to help you and your organization move that forward. There's a great link around how to get your teams on Teams guide that Laura had shared. Laura, any commentary on that?
No, just that I would say it looks at a couple different use cases and gives lots of great examples, like what if people are wedded to email? What if people are wedded to Slack? Some sample messages you can send, some sample tactics. So very sort of practical guide and definitely worth having a look if that's a concern at your organization.
So getting jump started and all about that adoption motion. And then there's a couple of links in regards to for App Source and the integration guide. App Source, that's just how you can get connected to that Confluence Cloud app. Of course, your team's administrator would need to allow access to the app. So if you go to the team store as an example and look for Confluence, if you're not finding it, just means your organization hasn't allowed that app yet. So talk to your IT person and put your justification in there and get it installed today. And then it looks like there's some links around the Confluence Cloud demo. So if you want to see more, go ahead and click on that link. Or if you just want to sign up for Confluence for free, that's also available today too. And to find out more about some of the other integrations that Tiger and Laura shared around Help, Trello, Jira, you can click on that other integrations link as well. And as mentioned, yeah, we're hoping to have Atlassian back in the new year to talk about some of the other amazing integrations that snap right into Teams. And we've been doing this for about a year now. Doug and I have. You'll see that we are recording this session. It'll be up either later today or tomorrow at that aka.ms Confluence snackable link. We'll follow up with an email as well with some additional information. And if there's any questions that we haven't answered today in chat, we'll make sure to answer those in our email response as well. And we've been doing this, like I said, for about a year. We've had folks from Poly, ServiceNow, Workday come and talk about their app integrations into Teams. So leverage that Plat Snack survey. If there are other apps that you want to learn more about that we haven't talked about before, or the recordings are all at that link under that Confluence Snackable as well. And that's what we got for you today. So if there's any last minute questions, I see Doug's got your hand raised. Yes, Doug.
There's more questions, Tony. Great job capturing those as they come in through the chat. But I'm curious, Travis, you mentioned that these links are live, meaning I can hover over it and click it. What technology are you using to make that available?
Yeah, we are using.
And can you please do
PowerPoint
the newscaster view while we're at it?
Absolutely. Let me take control here.
Got to have a little fun with this.
Absolutely. Here we can stand out here within. It's a little weatherman view there. So yeah, this is all PowerPoint Live inside of Teams. So as long as you're an Office 365, M365 customer, and your PowerPoint is saved on SharePoint or OneDrive, you'll be able to use the Present in Teams functionality right from PowerPoint. So pretty cool. Dress up your presentations, kind of make them fun and splashy.
Yeah, I had to do a little bit of an infomercial, and what you're seeing here with my hand raised, under reactions on your toolbar, you can raise your hand or give a thumbs up or something to that effect, but just wanted to highlight the capability.
Awesome. One last note I kind of just want to add in. If you notice me adding a tab, it was a static page. You couldn't really edit or do a whole lot on it. It's more like a reference for your team channels. We are working on embeddable pages. This is going to allow you to actually go into a tab and edit a Confluence page just the same way you would in a web browser. So that's something we're working on presently. We're going to bring that into Teams very soon. Stephane says, do search. Yes, you can search within Microsoft Teams after you sign in the message extension to find those Confluence pages. And then you can send that within a chat, either in your team, chat, meeting, wherever you need it. Cool. Any other last thoughts, everyone?
All right, this might be a good place for us to wrap up. And I just want to say thank you, Doug and Travis, for having us. And
thank you all so
probably
much.
the most fun webinar I've been a part of. So